Hello and welcome to this session. My name is Njeru, a postgraduate student undertaking Learning, Design and Technology course at the Open University of Kenya. Now this session is made specifically to offer student perspective to the Capstone Project proposal and the Capstone Project undertaking, which is a requirement for this course. The agenda for this session will be very short and interactive. We will cover a brief introduction. We will delve into why we need to develop a proposal, and then we'll look at the two pathways, that is a research or an innovation pathway. Then we'll also delve deeper into the structure of a capstone project, and then final tips and takeaways. Now, as we start this presentation, the presentation is born out of the challenges we have faced for the last few weeks in understanding what exactly we need to do and provide in terms of the capstone project. I start off my presentation with a quote from David Rockwell, which states that every project is an opportunity to learn, to figure out problems and challenges, to invent and reinvent. As learning designers and technology enthusiasts, I think this resonates very well with us. What is a capstone project? I know many of us have been asking ourselves this. We have heard about it severally. We've heard it from different angles from our colleagues and our lecturers, and I think we need to set sort of like the basic understanding on what a capstone project is. So a capstone project is a final independent project undertaken in a program of study, such as the learning, design and technology that we are undertaking. And it is designed to assess the skills, knowledge and expertise acquired by the student. And as the name suggests, it is the capstone or crowning achievement of the learning journey. Now, most importantly, the capstone project gives you the final credits or scores that you require to pass the entire course, the learning, design and technology, and be able to graduate. So this is why each and every student undertaking this course is mandated to carry out a capstone project and submit a capstone project report at the end of their study or of their learning journey as they move towards eventual graduation. Now, it is important for us to remember a few things, that the LDT capstone project is an avenue for us to apply, integrate, and synthesize key concepts that we have learned through the program that we've undertaken. Additionally, this means that you are required to identify an authentic problem, identify a challenging technological related problem, then design, develop and implement the innovation and evaluate that solution that you have created to meet the need that you have noted. So let me take some time on this. This means that for us to undertake the capstone project, we need to look at our scenarios, our setting, organizational or professionally based, and ask ourselves, what is a challenge you want to address? What is a problem that exists? How do you fill in the gap that is there? Do you design a tool? Do you develop an innovation? Do you implement a solution that you have created? And before we even go to the implementation phase, it means you have to have established that there's a need. You have to have designed how you're going to develop it, and then probably implemented it, even if it's at a testing stage or what we call beta stage, just to see whether it's functional or it's serving the need that you thought was there. And then after you carry out user testing, you will be able to evaluate whether that proposed solution really meets the need that you had intended initially. Therefore, we develop a capstone project as a way to demonstrate the depth and breadth of the educational growth that we have undertaken or experienced since enrollment to the completion of the program. It also provides an opportunity to highlight the knowledge and skills that we have gained, as well as our development as reflective practitioner. But if you were to ask me, and I know many of you are asking themselves, so why do we need to develop a capstone project proposal? This is because once you establish that need, once you establish that there exists a need for an intervention, you need to come up with a proposal, and that proposal is actually the first step in the entire phase of carrying out the capstone project. Now, the proposal usually outlines the project you intend to undertake, and it is also submitted as a deliverable in fulfillment of Education Research Methods course and Capstone Project course. I will delve into this a bit later in the presentation. So just to clarify once again, is that we are writing a proposal or submitting a proposal that shows the intention of us to develop a tool to carry out research in our specific field that meets or serves to fill a knowledge gap or a technological gap that exists. Now, I want to, at this juncture, to state the following, that as you have seen from the start, I labeled this presentation as a capstone project proposal or capstone project presentation. So therefore, I am restricting myself to the terminology of capstone project. But remember, as I have indicated in this presentation, that in this slide, that the capstone project proposal will also be submitted as a deliverable in partial fulfillment of the LDT 719 Education Research Methods course, and that will happen this semester. Are we confused at this juncture? Do we feel lost? Do we feel unsure? Do we feel unclear or baffled or even puzzled that what is Martin trying to talk about here? I am still trying to get what he's saying at this juncture. Now, someone called Vernon Howard said that for every problem or confusion and for every desire or ambition, there is an available force waiting for your call. This forms the backbone of why I have made this presentation. So let me start off. The capstone project proposal is a deliverable that takes two forms. In semester 1, we are required to submit it as a deliverable for LDT 719. In semester 2, this project proposal that we'll have submitted in semester 1 will be the precursor to a course that we are going to undertake and enroll ourselves in when we move to the second semester, known as the Capstone Project course. It's an independent course, different from the Research Methods course. I want to stop here and say this, that the Capstone Project proposal that we are submitting now under the Research Methods course is the same proposal that depicts or indicates the problem that you have noticed at your area of work or in your line of work that you wish to go further and innovate or carry out a study to fill the knowledge gap or the technological gap I was talking about. So the aim of this slide is to show that the proposal we are submitting now serves two purposes. It is a deliverable for one of the courses in this semester, and it is something that is leading you to the course that we will do next semester called the Capstone Project course. You can see I am avoiding something called research. or calling it a research proposal. Why am I doing this? Is because we are of different pathways, we are of different, we work in different organizations, and we have very different motivations as to why we enroll for this course. So therefore, the Capstone project proposal has or can take several formats. I hope we are together until there. I hope you're not confused that the Capstone project proposal can be able to take, and there's leeway for it to take different formats dependent on your specific line of work, your area of specialization, and your passion. Therefore, I want us to take a deep dive into the project pathways that we are looking for, or you can be able to submit on. So we have two different pathways. We have an innovative oriented capstone project or a research oriented capstone project. I repeat, these are two distinct pathways. Now, in a research, or if you decide to undertake a research oriented capstone, what is expected of you? Now, in this type of project, it is a purely academic and theoretical project, which focuses on what? Developing the research skills and expanding the knowledge base. If you remember, I was talking about establishment of a knowledge gap. If you establish there's a knowledge gap, you will undertake a research-oriented capstone project that is sort of academic and theoretical in nature in order to be able to fill that gap. So the goal is often to contribute to new knowledge or understanding or contribute new understanding to the field that you're working in. So this involves following the scientific research methodology, which is a careful study conducted in a very systematic approach. So for those of us who feel that we work maybe in academia, we want to fill a certain knowledge gap in matters in the line of learning, design, and technology, and you want to undertake a research-oriented capstone. This is one where you will not be developing something, an innovation or a tool, but rather you will be feeding into the knowledge base in that particular discipline. So you will conduct surveys, you'll conduct various research methodology, either qualitative and quantitative or quantitative alone or mixed methods, to try and establish ways or information that can be able to help you fill the knowledge gap that you have noted. While for those who may want to develop a tool, develop a learning management system, develop a mobile application, develop a game, these are the people who will carry out an innovation-oriented capstone. So this is a more practical and application-oriented capstone. It aims to solve a real-world problem or address a practical issue related to the student's field of study. So the goal of this is to achieve either a tangible or intangible result through the design and development of a tool or application, game, or edutainment videos. So in this case, just to expound, we have some of us who are coming, for example, from a gaming design background or learning management background or programming background. Now this person, if you're such a student, you would feel more in tune to pick the innovation-oriented capstone because you, over the years, you have honed the skills in the development of software, in the development of videos, in the development of games. So therefore, your capstone is an innovation-oriented one. You are not carrying out any research per se. While for those who are maybe in academia and want to really carry out an academic project or research-oriented project, they are still at liberty to do the same. And later we will look at where the differences come in. So an innovation-oriented capstone often requires students to devise innovative solutions for a real-world problem. I want to use one of our colleagues' example and setting. We have a colleague who works in a school as a teacher. This colleague has been working as a teacher, but though he's from the gaming design or gamification, not gamification, but rather game design industry. Now, in a few weeks ago, we were chatting, and I told him for what suits him is an innovation-oriented capstone. But then, how does someone go around even establishing the need for such? So I told him to contextualize the issue. Look into the school where he's teaching. Ask himself, is there a subject or a learning area that students are not performing well, or rather have not been performing well over the years? And this can be established by data in the school. Now, with his gaming mindset and his skills now as a teacher, he can be able now to sit down and look at that subject area and ask himself, what form of games or edutainment tools can I develop that can be used by these students to help them achieve better learning, achieve better understanding, acquire knowledge much easier, skills, values, and attitudes, but also with the intention of improving their learning outcomes. So therefore, once he establishes the need for that, game or edutainment video for that learning area, now that need can only be fixed by the development of that game. So such an innovation-oriented capstone will then take the channel of going deeper now into explaining how you want to develop the tool, how you want to develop the game, what aspects of game design are you using. Therefore, in simple terms, the difference between the research-oriented and innovation-oriented capstone is, if you want to develop an innovation, a tool, an app, a game, your capstone project will not take the research pathway, but will rather take the innovation pathway. And this will be seen very clear when we move to the next section, which is the structure of the capstone project proposal. Now, basic structure. This structure may be refined by the university a bit later. This is, as you saw from the title of this presentation, this is a student's perspective. So the basic structure of the proposal is that we start with a title, and I think many of us have been asked for a title. Now, at this juncture, I want to be very specific that this is the title of your capstone project, and therefore will also be the title of your capstone project proposal. This title has to fit into the problem you want to address, or it has to actually show the reader or the lecturer or the instructor what is it that you want to address. So if you want to develop a game, if you want to develop a tool, it needs to come out very clear from the title. Of course, an abstract is written at the end of your proposal, so you will, in terms of submission, you will require also to create an abstract. It's just a summary of the entirety of the proposal. Now, you remember I had talked about establishing a need or a problem that exists that can be solved by either research or the development of a tool or an innovation. So you will need to clearly articulate that in your proposal. Whether you are going either pathway, you will need to indicate what problem exists, what need exists. Then you will provide a methodology. Now this methodology, so therefore, the methodology or project design section will articulate the methods that you will use to carry out your research for those in the research pathway, or how you're going to design the tool, the learning management system, the course authoring tool, the video. You will articulate the steps that you will take. And it has always been said that we can never reinvent the wheel. That means for those of us who are doing the innovation based oriented capstone and those who are doing the research methodology, we have a common point, which is we have to base our capstone project on some theoretical or conceptual framework. There has to be some theories that are guiding you as you design that tool, that game, that video. So you have to indicate which you have to anchor your design on some research, on some theoretical framework. These are some theories, at least two, and the same for those who are undertaking research. Which research design are you undertaking, and why do you feel that that research design is fit for the purpose of your capstone project? Then you'll have to indicate your timeline. How long does it take? Again, as I said, this is a student's perspective. Not every university has a format, or every research or every proposal has a different format. So in some others, you're required to have just a statement on the timeline that you will undertake for the entirety of the project, from the inception to the evaluation stage, or to the end of development. Because again, I am so sure for those of us who are developing tools, we may not have time to evaluate, but if you do, then you will go to the full extent of evaluation. Then another thing that is required in your capstone project proposal is, for those of us who are in the research project pathway, is to explain what results you expect based on existing data about the same field of study. For those in the innovative projects, this is where now you describe what the final product will be, how you expect it to look like, how it will work, how it will help or affect the target group, and how you will evaluate its efficacy and success. So remember, you have established the problem, you have a design that will help you to innovate a solution to address the problem or the need that you've established. Therefore, you have a picture of what you want to generate or design or create. So you have to describe it in the proposal. As you don't have the final product, but you can be able to describe it in a way that someone will be able to visualize what you're saying. In some cases, you may even have screenshots of the prototype that you may want to further develop. You can also add that, but a description of the final product will be very helpful, and you can go further into also explaining how it will help the target group and how you will always be evaluating its efficacy or success when you roll it out. So therefore, as I come to the end, the key takeaways are, for semester 1, we require to submit a capstone project proposal through the LDT 719 Education Research Methods course And this proposal cuts across the two pathways. So whether you are doing the research-oriented or innovation-oriented pathway, you require to submit a capstone project proposal. Once again, you will notice in the entirety of this presentation, I'm avoiding to call it a research proposal because there are two distinct pathways that we are open to take. Therefore, an innovative project-oriented capstone cannot be called a research proposal because that person is not going to conduct research, but rather he or she is going to develop an innovation. So at the end of semester 1, that is a deliverable that we require. In semester 2, we require to submit a capstone project report. Allow me to go back to what we started with. We said that at the start, during the start of this presentation, that the capstone project is a requirement for any study or program to ensure that it is a way of showcasing the knowledge, the skills, and values that have been acquired through a certain program of study, and it has its impact on your graduation or your course completion. And in this case, I know with Open University of Kenya, the capstone project is an independent course that you will have to get marks on, so it will have to be evaluated and graded on. So that course will have no lecture, but that course will end up with you submitting a report so that you are seen to have fully, you will have fulfilled all the deliverables for the entire learning, design, and technology postgraduate diploma course. So a capstone project report that you submit at the end of semester 2 will entail the proposal you submitted in semester 1. For those who are still lost, now you can be able to see how the two are linked. The proposal you will submit now or very soon, that proposal will also form part of your capstone project report in your submission at the end of semester 2. For those taking the research pathways, in the proposal you will now add the results of finding sections. You will discuss the findings and make conclusions out of them. In other terms, you will now have chapter 4 and chapter 5 bundled together with your proposal, which had gone till chapter 3, and have a full capstone project report which you will submit. Now, in the results of findings, this is where if you were undertaking qualitative, you will discuss the findings that you have found, because that is non-numerical data. For those doing taking fully quantitative research pathways, this is where you will showcase the analytics of the data that you collected that leads you towards a certain discussion based on the research objectives that you had, and therefore you conclude about it. For those of us doing the innovation pathways, you will provide a write-up. Remember, that proposal submitted in semester 1 still stands. B and C are optional dependent on the pathways that you're taking. So A is consistent no matter the pathway that you're undertaking. So for those who are taking the innovation pathway, you will provide, in addition to your proposal, a write-up on the tool or the innovation being developed. This can take the form of either a user manual or a demo video. If you have been able to develop them and carry out any user tests during the time that we have, if it is possible, then you will add the findings of that user testing phase and make conclusions from those findings, even though it may be a short, limited user testing phase. So you will then submit all those conclusions and findings bundled together with your proposal and your prototype. So for those in the innovation phase, you will not have sort of a research findings, results and findings section similar to the research team. or the research colleagues who are undertaking the research. This is where the difference now will come. In your chapter 4 and 5, you will basically submit either the demo video or user manual, user tests. Even if you have comments or reviews from the various users, then you can have them there. If you can be able to analyze the analytics of the user testings, well and good, which can help you to carry out some analysis and come up with some findings and conclude. But if you may not get into the evaluation phase where you are testing it, you need to now submit the prototype with a video that showcases how it fits the purpose or the need, it addresses the need that you had established. So that's why I talked about a demo video. Again, I'd like to make a comment that this is a student perspective of how I understand what we are supposed to do when it comes to capstone project proposal submission and capstone project undertaking. Finally, the capstone project report and all that it entails should be submitted in a format that can be that is compatible with SOMAS or as directed by OUK. This means that because this is a course where we are learning through the learning management system, so any deliverable that we have has to be in a format that can be submitted through the same learning management systems, which is called SOMAS in this case. But again, the caveat here is that there may be further direction that will come from the university, and therefore this is just my own individual perspective about the entire capstone project undertaking. Therefore, I want to conclude there. I know it has taken more time than anticipated, but I think and I wish that this forms the basis of you being able to tackle the capstone project and its proposal in a way that is it was intended by the university. So I hope I have clarified the issues that were there, and in case of anything, feel free to reach out to the university, to the administration, or to Professor Wambua, Professor Opata, and the rest of the lecturers for any further clarification. With that, I beg to thank you all and all the best. We are together in this, and that's why the hashtag I've put there is that we are pioneering the learning design and technology studies at the Open University of Kenya. Thank you.